Welcome to Kids Express.
Join us as we see kids express their love for Jesus
while developing their character.
on Kids Express!
Welcome to 3ABN Kids Express. Today we're going to meet two lovely girls who try to make a real difference in many different areas, including the kinds of things that they read and how they serve others by handing out food. I'm Aunt Francine.
And I'm Stephen. Let's do Where in the World.
Let's.
Can you guess where in the world today's guest comes from?
I think I know.
Can you identify what state this is? If you guessed Alabama, then you would be correct. Let's welcome Gabrielle and Janessa.
Come on over, ladies. What do you have there? Oh my, are those Alabama firecrackers?
Yes.
I hear they're really spicy and hot. Have you tried one?
No.
Let's wait until after Kids Express because I have a feeling my mouth is going to burn on that. I don't like things hot.
But
Do
my
you
dad would
things
like
hot?
it. My dad would like it. He likes hot stuff.
Do you like hot stuff?
My daddy likes hot stuff. I like hot stuff.
You like hot stuff too? Amanda and I didn't like it at all, and Amanda's starting to like hot things, so maybe she'll have some too. But you know, it's kind of fun. So tell us a little bit about the state of Alabama.
It's known for his pecans.
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 Ooh, do you like pecan nuts?
Yes.
Me too. And also, its capital, Montgomery, is named after Zebulon Montgomery Pike, who was one of those explorers who were one of the first people to go to the west.
Out to the west. So what do you like to do, Janessa, in the state of Alabama?
I like to play and make friends.
You like to play and make friends, and do you
Yeah.
have anything else about Alabama?
I like to tell jokes about
You like to tell jokes.
a little bit.
That's fun. Do you know that I hear in the state of Alabama?
And I used to play in a park too.
Really? I hear in the state of Alabama, there's these little things that have these little shells. Do you know what I'm talking about?
Oh yeah, seashells.
I'm not talking about sneeze
Snails.
Snails. I'm talking about snails, and I hear that Alabama has the most abundance of snails because I think it's very humid there, and so they like the moisture and the humidity. So do you like gathering up snails?
Yes, I like catching snails.
I really used to when I was your age too, because you know they seem to go actually fast. They say, "Oh, you're as slow as a snail," but they actually can move pretty fast. Have you watched them? And sometimes they leave this little trail, but it's because of all the humidity that's there in Alabama, and they like the moisture of the ground as well. So that's kind of interesting.
It is.
So, you know, Jesus is always helping us to live for Him and to shine for Him and to share His love. So, Gabrielle, tell me what you do to share the love of Jesus.
I do Boys and Girls Club.
And tell us about what you do at Boys and Girls Club.
We read with them and we make songs and also we share what we learned.
And you share what you learn. So, Janessa, what do you like to do to share the love of Jesus?
I like to do Bible studies.
You like to share your Bible stories?
Yes.
And you share them with some friends? Mm-hmm. Oh, what is your favorite Bible story that you like to tell about?
Like Lions in the Den.
Daniel and
the Lion's Den. That's a good story, isn't it?
I like the story of David.
Yeah, that's an
I
interesting.
like the story of Adam and Eve.
Adam and Eve. That's very nice. But you know what, Gabrielle, I think you actually did something that most kids your age don't do. And you were thinking about one of your friends, and can you tell us about it that you were praying for?
So I really wanted my friend to come to church, and because I wanted to see her. And I said I'm not going to eat because we had food at the church when we have Sabbath school. And I prayed for her, and then when we went to the community where she was already there, and she came in the van, and I sat beside her.
Oh, and you made her feel special. And what became of that? Because, and I know your mom said something about that you didn't even want to eat. You were praying instead of eating because you so much wanted your friend to be there at that meeting. And then she showed up. And what ended up happening, you got to witness something very special in her life. And how old is your friend?
9.
9 years old. And what happened with your friend?
She got baptized.
She got baptized, so she gave her heart to Jesus because of something that you did. Sometimes we think that, oh, they're too little, but you can make an influence on kids older than ourselves.
Guess what, Jesse?
What, honey?
Somebody got me a gift. It was my birthday.
You got a special gift on your birthday from her friend? That's kind of special, isn't it? You know, God always wants us to live for Him. Were you going to say something?
It's amazing how God can bring somebody who's just not from church and use a girl, I think you're 4, and
She's just turned 5.
a 5, and then let an older girl of 9, 4 years
4
older
years
than
older.
But when I turned 4, I'm gonna be like 4 when I get my birthday.
When you
I'm
get
gonna
your
be 4.
Okay, so you're only 3, but you know what? No matter how small we are, we can do something for Jesus. So if there was one character trait that you want to be more like Jesus and grow to be more like Jesus, and you had to choose what that was, what do you think the two of you would choose?
I'm like feeling a little bit sad, but
When you feel sad, to try to be happy? That's good to do. We can, well, let's hear it from Gabrielle, but I think Happy Helpers is a good idea. What do you say, Gabrielle?
when I want to be more patient and kind.
And be more patient and kind.
I love to be kind to my neighbors.
Yes, but I like how you mentioned something about being happy and also being helpful at home. Is it sometimes hard to be helpful at home?
Yes.
Yes. What's the chore that you do not like doing?
Putting away my clothes.
Putting away the clothes.
I do not like to be jealous of my friends, but
You don't want to be jealous of your friends either. Yeah, that's another trait that we can talk about, not having jealousy.
Yeah,
And how you need to be happy with what you have.
the chore that I do not like, it's folding my clothes. I just hate folding my clothes for some reason.
Yeah, sometimes.
I like to do especially help my mom.
You like to help your mom?
And I used to help my dad too.
And how do you help your daddy?
I help clean up the liver. And we help him on the farm too.
On the farm too.
You live in the country?
Yes.
So it's very important that we always stay happy and be a happy helpers. And you mentioned some of the things that you could do. Now, you know, when you're about 3 or 4, you might not be able to do as many things as maybe Stephen can do, for example, right?
I'm 8.
And you're 8. And I know sometimes we parents, we kind of get a little critical because I remember times where I wanted to clean the windows and I would have Amanda help. And what would happen when I would have Amanda help clean the windows? What would you see?
Streaks.
You would see streaks on the window, right? And sometimes we parents are like, and you want to go back over it, but you know what? I need to be very happy that there are streaks there and that she wants to help us, right? Because even big brothers and sisters, sometimes we're so critical, but you know what? We don't need to be. But what are some chores that we can do? I brought something here. Do you know what this is for?
A dust wand.
It's a dust wand, and sometimes you have microfibers. And you know what? Can you help me dust real quick? Right here on the table? Do some dusting. Yeah, see, that's an easy task. And then what?
Do it.
Yes, honey. And you know, another job that you could do that's very helpful is, have you ever gotten a washcloth and cleaned the baseboard? Do you have baseboards in your house? You know that part between the carpet or the floor and on the wall? You can get a washcloth and dust that off. Or even with this, but sometimes you can use a washcloth and clean that up. And sometimes you can clean your bar stools, right? How many of you have any of you done any weeding? Because you said something about helping in the farm.
Yes.
Yeah. So we can, yeah, so we can all do things. So what is something that you like to do? Do you help Dust as well?
Yes.
Yeah. So how do you have an attitude to always be happy? When you catch yourself like, oh, I don't want to fold the laundry, what do you tell yourself?
You got to do it because it'll make mommy and daddy happy.
And also, when you get into your own house, you're gonna have to do that.
You're right. You nailed it though, Gabrielle, is because it makes mommy and daddy happy. And you know what? The Bible talks about helping one another, even on things that we don't even like to do, right?
I think.
And there's a Bible verse about that,
I think
Yes.
that's Galatians 4 verse 6.
I think it's 6 verse 2.
Yes.
Yeah, Galatians 6 verse 2.
Bear each other's burdens, so fulfill the law of Christ.
So if we are bearing each other's burdens, we're helping other people, right? And that's what it means is to bear, because when we have animals, you know, they used to have donkeys and they would put the weight on them.
Like
it
this.
helps make the job easier for mommy and
Daddy.
So even though if parents and your big brother or big sister say something like, oh, you're not doing it right, because it's easy for us adults to say, no, let me take care of this. I hope your parents never say that, but I remember a few times that it was so hard I wanted to go back over the window that Amanda had just cleaned and go back and clean it. But you know what? I am so happy that you're wanting to help, and it's okay that you're not as perfect. And that's why we need to be always what?
Smiling.
And happy helpers. So I hope all of us can be happy and feel lighten the load for our family members. And often we say that if you work hard, you can play hard. Does your family ever say that?
My daddy says, work hard, eat hard, play hard.
I like that. So yeah.
So,
And if you
so
don't,
myself says, play hard and clean up hard.
Yeah, you're right. But I feel like we have to clean up before we can play hard.
Yeah.
I think it's more important to get our work done before it's time to play.
play.
And
and
it's
also
hard
if you
to
don't
remember
work,
that.
you're not gonna eat.
You're right. I think it's
That's what
time
my
for our
daddy said.
question.
Yes.
What's our question for today?
This question goes to you, Aunt Francine, and I think to all of us. Angelina from New York wants to know, what is your favorite Bible story?
I really like talking about our favorite Bible stories. What's your favorite, Gabrielle?
Oh, Adam and Eve.
Adam and Eve. Why do you like it?
Because they had a happy marriage.
Adam and Eve did have a happy marriage, and then
Until they
have-
sinned.
Yes, especially when you have the love of
They
Jesus.
already sent me
And so, what's your favorite Bible story?
some animals.
You like animals?
You like Noah's Ark? Nope.
Like, Noah's Ark?
I like David and Goliath.
Very nice. Yeah, how he was able
To
to.
defeat a giant who is 9.5 feet tall.
Yeah, and he had.
I think it was like 10 feet.
Yeah, he had to be really tall. But you know what? I think my favorite story is always about Jesus. But if I had to choose somebody else, if I had to choose somebody besides Jesus, it would probably be the story of Joseph. Because you know what? Even though he was in a dungy, dark spot, he knew who God was, right?
And he also became in charge over the jail.
You're right. And you know what? I think he was a happy helper too, don't
Yes,
you
he
think?
was.
And so I'm so glad that we can all be happy helpers and bear each other's burdens. And thank you so much, Gabrielle and Janessa, for joining us so that we too can be happy helpers for others. And thank you for joining us on
Let's have some of these firecrackers.
Oh, yeah.